Hey everyone, welcome to another video review. This is going to be the Transformers Generation Selects King Poseidon combined mode. Finally gonna do it. Yep, getting them all 6 of them together, and yeah, you can see all of them are there, ready to go. This is going to be, I'm going to be using the, I guess the configuration they've been using in all the promotional material. So of course you got Turtler's, the central torso, Gulf and Tentacle are the legs. Glob Claw and Kraken are the arms, and Overbite is the gun. So, of course, it's pretty much like every other Combiner Wars Power of the Primes guy. You just kind of, pegs go in there. The combiner pegs go in there. And you got a combine mode. Yep, then now it's all real tall. So now shoot this way up. And of course, these go up and slot in up here. That arms slot up into there, like so. And right there, that's encountering the first problem of the set, which is he's a little forward heavy. So I'm gonna click these back one. Click this back one more. Fortunately, yeah, it's the case. It's just he tends to want to lean forward. It's a somewhat common problem with this mold. Yeah, that. And the gun, what you do is once again fix the shark head. And you take this little bit off the hand and just plug in the back of the hand, and then watch as the arm just collapses. But now it's a brace. So now, there you go. That's the full combined mode of King Poseidon with all the members of the squad. Yeah, he's, typical Combiner Wars size, maybe a little taller because of the feet. But he's got problems, unfortunately. He looks great. This is weird. The tabbing on this is a little weird, unfortunately, still. Although I've noticed if I mess with like general everything about the torso stuff, sometimes they'll just start, the tabs will kind of solidify and kind of stay tabbed in. Of course, the weight. Fortunately, every single one of them, the problem is all the hips and elbow and knees on these guys are not enough for this to hold up without like a stand, unless you floor polish the crap out of that, which I've seen some people do, so I might do that later. And you saw the hips here, unfortunately. The hips have a tendency for him. He has a tendency to lean forward, so you have to kind of click him back one and kind of do this weird, well, he's kind of thrusting now thing. Okay, so he's kind of, you can see that a little bit. He's kind of thrusting forward a little bit. And unfortunately, this thing is right here. It's just kind of hanging out. Yeah. I think I forgot to, no, I did. I did do that, didn't I? Yeah, I extended those, I think. Yeah, I extended those. Just they don't look quite tall enough. But yeah. So just the back cannons. I was a little worried I didn't extend them properly, but I did. Yeah. So the nice thing is that at the very least the gun can at least be a brace. But yeah, it's just unfortunately he's just a little wobbly. Even without this, even without the gun here, this actually helps stabilize him. But yeah, he's unfortunately just a little on the wobbly side, and it really kind of stinks. There's not much you can do because just kind of sit there and futz with it until it works. So that's the thing. Yeah, beyond that, you also got all the blades. Yeah, like the main one from Turtler. Yeah, you can form a giant sword for him. Of course, you take the blades from Gulf and Overbite and you put them up over top of this like that. They kind of snap over, and the handles go on the little divot here on the sword. Let's see if we can. And then you snap them together like that. That's one phase. And then next you take the these guys here, these blades from Kraken right here, and put that over top of that peg. And the other one from Tentacle and put it over top of that peg. And there you go. That's pretty much the top part of the sword. And then you finally take the axe from Lobclaw and attach it at the bottom. Yeah, that's the full sword. Looks nice. And to, well, of course, peg it in. It's pretty simple. You have to remove this part. And just, there's a little 5mm hole in the hand. You just peg it through and bring this up from the bottom and peg it in. And probably fix the thumb. So there you go. There's the sword. It's attached. You can see it's attached pretty well. Unfortunately, yeah, because of the weight of it, can accidentally kind of do that. And then next thing, yeah, the thumb comes out of position and it's a really weird looking. Yeah. Does a pretty good job of making it look like he's actually holding the sword, not just pegged into a thing on his thumb. Yeah. There you go. Again, looks pretty good. These are the fins on the head here, unfortunately, also kind of easily get knocked out of alignment, so they just kind of compress, which I wish there was a kind of little click point so they, stayed out. I just realized that sword is really close to the camera lens. Yeah. So articulation is pretty much the usual stuff. You got a swivel on the head. Unfortunately, it's not a ball joint or double hinge or swivel or anything. It's just one swivel on the head, so just left and right. You do, of course, got the full rotation at the shoulders, pretty much unhindered thanks to, well, there's not really much there in the way. Outward, you got that nice clicky as well. You got, the waist swivels acting as a bicep swivel and an elbow, a double hinged elbow if you want, if you do it right. So you got that. You can bend there. You can bend here. Oops, that fell off. Bend at the knee or whatever. So yeah, you kind of double hinge elbow, though the molding kind of prevents stuff. And you can see he's leaning way back too. He's stable back because, well, I got the feet attached, the hands attached to the back of the feet there. Let me put that back on. There we go. That's the only reason I think he's able to. Yeah, see, there's that problem again. Yeah, there's a lot of loose parts. Getting down here a little. Hips, of course. You got forward. That's probably also the problem if you notice kind of soft. The ratchets kind of let go a little bit. And that just came right out because I was holding it wrong. Also, that's kind of weirdly loose in the actual peg. It holds in, but not super well. Yeah, hips, forward and back, ratchet. No waist, unfortunately, because of the limitation of this mold. Outward, that's a nice solid ratchet. Got a thigh swivel there. Knees right here because of the combiner peg. And down here at the feet, which further down here at the feet, I guess you got that pivot. You have ankle tilt, by the way, nice ratcheted ankle tilt. And you have a forward and back ankle tilt as well. Forward and back, one click forward. If you remove the feet, because that gets in the way of this stuff, remove the feet, you get a couple clicks backwards as well. Unfortunately, yeah, the problem is the molding, particularly on Tentacle here and him. Well, not so much him. Molding on Tentacle, unfortunately, makes it so it's difficult to use it because this will just get in the way if it's attached. So just FYI, and yeah, you can see that's coming out of alignment. That just came apart. Tentacles issues. It's not an issue when it's just standing there, but the second you start trying to pose it and things, hopefully. The second you start trying to pose it, the problem is a lot of it starts coming undone. All right, so one thing I did overlook in the actual review, and I'm adding it in here, the hand articulation. Yeah, these hands are, there's a wrist swivel because of the fact they peg in like this. So there's, got wrist swivel on this one. It's a little tight, and this likes to split apart. You do have a little bit of motion here, not a whole lot, but you got a little bit, thanks to the way the peg swivels around. The thumb is on a hinge, so it can go up and down about the guitar. You can use this, I guess, a little bit, but that just makes it look weird. Which with that, and all these fingers are all individually hinged at the base knuckle. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And yeah, it's only a bit, there's no other knuckles or anything, but there's that at the very least. So yeah, hand articulation, almost forgot it. Yeah. So yeah, articulation is, it's nice. The ankles are nice, but the problem is like everything, like a lot of the other joints kind of let things down. The ball joints on like a lot of the hips are loose enough that it doesn't really help much. These hips on the torso kind of suck. Yeah, the shoulder joints are solid. Those are solid. The knees are solid. The ankles are solid. But yeah, like these hips suck so bad it kind of ruins things. I don't know what the heck happened there, and I'm wondering if like something's wrong with mine because that's like looser than it should be. So that kind of stinks. Yeah. And the other thing is, of course, the guns. Some of them are attached, like, that's attached there, his are attached there. They got, the main gun from Turtler there had a whole bunch of peg holes. And the whole thing there was supposed to be, you can attach all the leftover stuff. The problem is, there's no real, there's no instructions for, okay, attaching the leftover guns. Because if you use attach those guns, you have, let's see, you got Tentacles guns left over, Gulf's guns left over, and Lobclaw's gun left over, plus this thing. And you also got the extra hand from Overbite. I'll get to that, and actually, before I get to the gun stuff, yeah. Someone's like, okay, how do I deal with this? What do I do with this extra hand? And someone figured out how to, I guess, attach it to Overbite here in gun mode. And what you do is, rather than having this up like this, you bring it down. It's not going to tab in anymore because of stuff getting in the way, particularly, yeah, the head, unfortunately. But you can just do what you did, they did for storage before, which is just bring it in here and then just tab it in. And it still works as a gun. It's a little different. It's more shark-like, but hey, now that is storage if you want to do that. So just someone did that. That's nice little solution. Not the intended one, but hey, it's a solution if you want it. I'm just going ahead and do this. I'm going to leave that off for a second. But yeah, the rest of these guns, one thing I did was, of course, you can actually attach them to the end of this guy and try to do some crazy mega gun. But I think what I did was I think I kind of made a turret of some sort. Yeah, I'm trying to remember the exact I did, but I was attaching the guns in different ways, just trying to find something. This was that right here. Put those there. So yeah, you got a whole bunch of peg holes. So there's a lot of options in how to deal with these guns and try to, have them attached. Yeah, that's what I did there. Then attach this to the back. Just kind of why not. And then I just kind of, there's the peg hole here, so I just did this, and now it's I guess it's a turret. If you don't have Overbite attached, you can use this as kind of a turret emplacement. As long as you have the fingers down there. And it's because of the hand, it's nice and solid. You can kind of use this as a turret emplacement. It's not the most secure thing, but hey, it does kind of work. It's kind of neat. And so you have that as, I guess, as a turret placement. I guess you can imagine this as a bit of a targeting screen or something. So there you go. That's what I did personally with mine. That's what I want to do with it. But you can also, remove this. The unfortunate thing is, nowhere to really attach this. This is just going to always hanging out. You gotta do this sort of thing. This, attach that to the front there and peg it in. Now you got a kind of big gun. This configuration doesn't work because of that. But yeah. There we go. Kind of have to. But yeah, it's a different configuration you can do, and it's one thing you can just attach all the guns to that. So it's a bunch of stuff that's not really in the instructions, but you can play around with it a little bit. But there's nothing in the instructions, so figure out your own thing you want to do. But yeah, this is a King Poseidon, for better and for worse, warts and all. Yeah, he's got some problems, namely the hips. The biggest thing is just simply the hips, and just the ball joints and all the figures are so weak that they can't really hold this up without either a stand to support the gun or significant amounts of floor polish to tighten those up and make it a lot better. Yeah, tighten up the hip/elbow joints on the arms, so just to make it better. Because yeah, it's just, those are the biggest flaws with the guy, and it kind of really, those two things in particular just really hurt display options and whatnot. People have figured out ways to get this guy, you know, beyond that, like particular poses and whatnot, but yeah, it's just one of those things. Like, yeah, spending $200+ on this guy, it's like, oh, those hips are so bad that they almost ruin it. And it really stinks. So that kind of changes, you know, this retroactively changes a lot of stuff. Like, are these guys recommended? And honestly, maybe. I mean, if you can deal with the hips or something, yeah, I guess. It looks great. I think it looks great. It's just, there's all those weird little flaws that kind of add up. And it's like, it kind of diminishes the whole package. I wish it was a little bit better. If it wasn't for those hips, it would almost been certainly, yeah, sure. You can figure out the gun thing on your own at some point later. But yeah, it's just, it could have been better. It should have been better. And I really wish it was better. Because yeah, it's kind of what it is. Winds up being is kind of an expensive combiner that can't be used to its full degree, I guess. It can't be fully just utilized because of this weird little flaw. So if you really like King Poseidon or Piranacon or whatever, if you really like him, then sure. But if you missed out on this guy, if you were like, yeah, if you're someone who missed out on all the pre-orders and are just thinking about just going ahead and paying aftermarket prices, don't do that. It's not worth $300, $400 or whatever people are charging for it. And on top of that, there is the repaint for the Neptune repaint coming for the Beast Wars 2 version. It is coming. Hopefully they fix these flaws, particularly those hips. If they fix those hips, yeah, it's absolutely worth it. I think that's the biggest thing is those hips. If they can fix that, it's worth it. But it's just really difficult to recommend because it just wants me, for me, to keep wanting to flop forward and stuff, and doesn't help with the weight of the, yeah, like overbite there being on the gun, and whatnot. That doesn't help, except it does help because now it's bracing it. So yeah, just see, you know, looking at this review, if it puts you off, then yeah, just don't. If you're just kind of lukewarm on it, don't. Just only if you really like how this guy looks, honestly, and you're able to fix some stuff and deal with those issues. So yeah, that's my long rambling thing about King Poseidon here. I hope this was informative in some way. I hope you liked it in some way. Yeah, because, yeah, there's a lot going through. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's great. And then all of a sudden, oh, it's not so great, you know? And that kind of stinks, getting to the end of the road and kind of like, there's a lot of problems here that weren't really apparent until later. But, and anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found it informative and entertaining. I hope you like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you're sticking around. I just hit 500 subscribers, so woo on that. I guess that's a great time. That's a great thing. I'm trying to decide if I will do something for that or what. But there's that. I'll be doing more videos in the future. They might slow down a lot because releases over the summer are going to be really slow, and you know what's going on. So yeah, check me out on Twitter. I'm at Nemesis Prime 1, Patreon, Coffee. Those are things. They'll be linked in the video in the description. So yeah, hope to tune in next time. And yeah, I'll keep doing video reviews as long as I can. So see you guys later.